Hey, it's your old pal Fernbark, and today we're going to take a look at the Camillus CAMTRAX 12-inch hatchet. So this guy right here is a 3-in-1 hatchet. What you have, of course, is the hatchet head, the back end is a hammer, and then inside the handle is a saw. The hatchet comes with a really nice sheath for it. You can snap or unsnap this retaining band up from either side. You can also relocate this belt clip and mount it on the other side so you can go left or right carry with it. The fit for this is very snug, and I really like this a lot. Having said that, I'll probably never use this clip because carrying something that weighs 1 pound 10 ounces from my side that's a foot long is not fun to carry around out in the woods. Now, I don't claim to be a hatchet expert, but I find that this is pretty interesting. You see the silver portion right here, this bevel is really pretty narrow, and this axe head is pretty small. I'll show you why I think that. So this is the shred hatchet that I've been using for about 4 years, and you can see that the tip of this has got a much bigger edge than this does. I did try doing some work with this hatchet, and I got to say I'm not super impressed with this hatchet head so far. So the main problem that I have with this hatchet is the handle. The fact that the handle is not solid gives it kind of a real lightweight feel. The balance is a little weird. I kind of got used to it, but it still wasn't that great. And the fact that the saw's inside gives it a really strange feeling when you hit something with the hatchet. It vibrates when you strike something real hard. You can feel that right into your hand. Now, I was wearing gloves when I was using the hatchet, and you still feel it vibrate right into your hand. It's kind of not a nice feeling. The other thing is, I expect that if you actually use this out in the wild for any length of time, this crevice is going to fill up with junk. And the other thing is, if you're not wearing gloves, you're almost certainly going to develop some blisters grabbing onto this sharp edge right here. The saw is released through this spine lock. It's a little tricky to get it out of here. You got to grab it through right here, and it's really tricky if you're trying to do it on camera. Now, when you get it out, it folds easily once you get her out of the handle itself, and it clicks in. It clicks in really firmly, so that part I like. And then you just have to hit this lock again to stow the blade. The sawing action is not very smooth at all. If you apply any kind of pressure, it just kind of wants to bind up. Oh man, I hate this thing already. All right, let's see how this does on that other piece. Was some pretty fresh cedar. Let's see how it works on some pine that's been drying for a couple of years. It's still really difficult to. So one thing I thought you might use this for is if you're going to make some tent stakes out in the woods. So you would chop a piece off, maybe something a little smaller for a tent stake, and then try to chop a point onto this. This narrow edge is really difficult to get any kind of chopping action going. Just to show you on the same piece of wood, I'm going to go ahead and use my Schrade. Which gets a much better bite. Also, the fact that this is a heavier head and a solid handle allows you to strike on here with much more confidence. Another weird thing is when you're chopping with this, you can hear the blade in here twang like that. So that's kind of a weird sound when you're chopping. I mean, yeah, I don't know, this thing's kind of a dog. Alright, well, let's say you spent the 45 minutes necessary to saw this log in half. See, they're the same size. And you wanted to split it into firewood. Let's see if I can get this to balance on here. This is where you get that really weird twang. Let me make sure I'm in the camera here. Yeah. So this has like no power. Just does not want to Alright, just for comparison, here's my Schrade. Ooh! At least it bit into it a little bit. So 2 smacks. Yeah, you can see it catches right on the handle here because this isn't smooth all the way through. Alright, let's try it back here. Now you still got the same problem. Here you can see this hatchet has a blade, is smooth with the handle, and then if I want to go through the log I can just keep pounding through. The part where this becomes even less of a value as this costs twice as much as this, so you could actually get a decent hatchet and a standalone saw. Now I realize the purpose of this is to probably, you know, reduce the number of things that you have to carry or whatever, but this is so non-functional, I couldn't imagine any serious person taking this with them. So that's going to do it for this review of the Camillus CAMTRAX. I want to say thanks to Acme, the company that makes this, and to the Home Depot for making this available for me to review.